I think sometimes we're going through challenges and we feel like, oh, we're stuck or whatever, or maybe we're just, life is, by the way, success, the first three letters of success is SUC. So you got to go through the suck to get through success. Okay. So you got to go through some events and you might be in the middle of having a really challenging time right now, but understand that when you get out of that, there is going to be something good coming from that. I want you to believe that.
Hey, everybody, welcome to my show. My name is Tiffany, and this is Unveiling Journeys. I have an amazing guest for you today. Let me just tell you 1 minute about me. Oh, man, I love people. I love hanging out with people, getting to know really cool people, sharing the people I know with the people I love. And then, more importantly, being able to say, oh my gosh, let's take a half hour together. It sounds like there's people you need to know that I know. Please tell me more about those people that you want to meet. It's like kind of offering referrals, giving referrals, which is why I find myself hanging out in networking rooms. But if you guys have never heard of it, I want to give you permission right now to hang out with the people you normally hang out with and say, hey, who do you know that I need to know? You can ask. We can make like all of our businesses go round and round. Anyway, what has happened is I can no longer contain the awesomeness of the people I've met. And the podcast has been born to be able to share them with you. So, with that, I want to welcome Steve. Thank you so much for coming on. And we've had a heck of a time getting us in. And this has been totally worth it that we're going to have this amazing show with you and I. I just know it's meant to be. So, tell everybody what you're up to right now.
Well, what's going on, everyone? Steve Spiro, the master connector, coming at you live and direct. And yeah, no, it's been a fun afternoon trying to get this going, but excited to be on with you, Tiffany, and your community. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you want me to start, but I have a crazy story. But today, inspirational keynote speaker, published author, you could see above on the screen if you're reading it. But did a TED talk recently. I wrote a book, so just fun. My vision is to be paid to travel the world, speak and inspire, be a beacon of light, and so having fun being on stages, inspiring people. I'm an introvert that's now called the master connector. Go figure. So. Yeah, it's just, baffling to me, and I think it's baffling to some other people too, so but that's me.
I love that so much. And you're such a connector. So I know that we had been connected through someone that was like, "Wait,
Yes.
you guys I don't how do you guys not know each other at this point?" I'm like, "Wait, people have told me I need to meet you." So it's funny to think multiple people have got us together. So I feel honored to even be a connector and be able to share that title
My
with
honor.
phenomenal people like you. Let's do this. I want to hear your whole story. Like, tell me, where are you from and how did this all start? Like, what was your first job or where you went to school
Yeah.
and on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, born and raised in the Bronx, entrepreneurial family. My dad owned a liquor store, dissuaded me from going into that. So, wound up going into advertising marketing, went to high school and college for that. Got out, couldn't get a job, so started a company, opened a small advertising agency in New York City, and it was pretty wild being a 22-year-old businessman. And then parallel to that, started training the martial arts since '83. I hold a couple black belts, and my wife happens to be a black belt as well, which is interesting. Life's interesting in a household of two black belts. But anyway, had a karate studio for a while, which was fun. But picked on and bullied, learning disabled, dyslexic as a kid, always had a chip on my shoulder to prove those people wrong for years and years that drove me to be successful. Wound up having, after closing the advertising company down, I wound up eventually going into the marketing world. Did worked on some incredible brands and traveled and worked with celebrities. It was amazing. But then the economy kind of shifted, things dried up, and I was out of work. I had been introduced to an incredibly successful entrepreneur back then who took me under his wing, took on a mentoring role with me, got me on a path of self development, books, podcasts, conferences, and networking. And he's the one who challenged me. And it's all his fault. He said, Steve, I understand you're shy and introverted, but you need to meet three strangers every day. And being a New Yorker, talk to strangers, you feel like you're going to get shot, kidnapped, or killed.
Oh, yeah.
But I did it, still do it to this day. It still stretches me. And so, a year later, when the economy tanked, I was ready to pivot. Not sure why. A shy and introverted kid from the Bronx would go into sales, but I did. And to make it worse, I got into copier sales. On the evolutionary scale below the chimpanzee and the orangutan is the copier salesman. So did figured if I could do that, I could do anything. Did well, bounced around. Eventually became one of the top performers. Then pivot over to consulting. But To me, the story kinda happened along the way as I become this huge networker with 18,000 contacts on my phone and 30,000 LinkedIn connections, and, um, I started to people started asking me to speak. They were pretty intrigued by the master connect well, actually, they didn't call me the master connector initially. They were baffled because the problem is in networking, you mentioned it before, people wanna put you in a box when they ask you what
Mm.
you do. He's an attorney, she's a CPA, he's a plumber, and I don't fit in a box. So when they would ask me what I do and I tell them, they get stressed out. It's like they're on the bowl with constipation. It's like, "I don't get it." I'm like, "Relax. It's okay. Just call me the master connector. Everything will be alright." So that name stuck, and so I started being people asked me to speak, and, that led to eventually launching the Master Connector show November 2020. So we're as this show is being recorded, we just finished today was episode 268 of our show. So we've had amazing guests on our show. It's been incredible. And then um, also started, being asked to speak on big stages and TEDx happened along the way, and just it's been amazing. I just I've got a gig booked for September to talk with a company called Northwestern Mutual. I don't know if you've heard of that company, but yeah, just it's been a blessing being able to speak and inspire, and really that's my vision, right? Is to really be paid to travel the world, speak and inspire, and be a beacon of light. So there's a lot more little nuances to the story, but that's the basic gist of it.
Oh my gosh, we went so fast. I want to hear more about it because, all right, coming from the beginning of this isn't in anything whatsoever you thought that this was going to form to be and run off of a name like, well, if you can't put me in a box, just call me a connector. That's fine. To actually really live out this connector, like you put yourself in a box because you kind of had to, right, with a name and a title, and you like emulated and became that of being able to have all these people. Now, you said 18,000 people in your phone. Did you hand enter those in? This wasn't just like a download, right? Like, here I was thinking I'm nuts. I have like 3,000. I got a long way to go. Like, this is the new level of where I need to be.
Is every single one was hand entered, or I scanned their business card when I met them, but basically one by one by one by one. Yes.
That is incredible. I feel like a baby in this space because I'm in my 40s and I started becoming and letting myself be a connector only the last few years. When you've lived this and have all these people that you've met and you be able to stay and reach out to. Now, when you said you go and speak on stage, what are some of the things that people ask you to speak about? Because when you're the master connector, what does that mean? Like, what are you going to teach them? What is this like? How does this help companies and whatnot? I
Yeah.
want to hear more about all of it.
I think initially people were asking me about networking, but I think what I've learned is networking is kind of transactional. It's kind of like solicitations, like prostitution. It's like ugly and people don't like it. But connection, real true human connection is really important. So I think that the shift, I made the shift, I think just before COVID is when it started to happen. And, as I had this challenge to meet three strangers in the Northeast, everyone was wearing masks. So I was challenged to still meet people. So what was I going to do now? So I wound up having like 7 or 8 Zooms a day for a while COVID was on, and I had people crying and telling me like, "I'm listen, Steve, I'm telling you things that I've never told anyone before in my entire life. Like, what's going on here?" So I realized that I there was a skill, an art, a knack to connecting, and
Hmm.
so and I really understood that I want to really focus in on the power of human connection. So one of the I have 3 main keynotes that the companies will ask me to speak on. Sometimes it's companies, sometimes it's organizations, sometimes it's events. But one is breaking barriers to create real human connection in this digital AI driven world. It's a very connected world, but very disconnected. The screen has created a barrier. Yeah,
Yeah.
I speak on breaking those barriers through being authentic, being others focused, having grit, and building community and growing connections. So that's one. The other one, AI is so hot right now, but it's the real AI, which is authentic influence. And then the third one is the death of the old school sales rep going from transactional to transformational. In sales, it's B2B and B2C. But what about B2H, business to human? So
Hmm.
that's my third. And so a lot of sales organizations, sales kickoff meetings, sales conferences, but it can be anything. I just spoke in Philly not long ago to a group of entrepreneurs. I spoke at Southern State Connecticut College or University up in Connecticut for a group of HR professionals. I spoke recently before a group of CEOs. So it could be a lot of different things, but I think sales, and I don't mean like hardcore sales, it's more the human connection piece of sales is what I typically like to speak on.
This is great for, like, the your play on words with the AI, because like, authentic interaction with people is probably going to the wayside with the way that we could just show up pretty fake,
Right.
show up on Facebook,
Right.
on Instagram, like, we don't
Yep.
even know the real lives behind these, like, fake screens, and
Hmm.
but also on top of that, it's so much easier to be on Zoom and never really handshake somebody ever again,
That's
right?
right.
So you being able to go and train this stuff, I think is going to be a huge wave that I'm excited for you to ride, because we're gonna need the reminders of the
Yep.
us that lived that, and we only had authentic interaction,
That's
and
right.
now we're like, "Wait a minute, this is where we came from," and we have to teach that to our generation right now that are hiding behind their phones and
That's right.
for years a mask, right? Especially
That's right.
New York and California, where everybody was masked up for, like some of them still are. You guys can let that go, I promise.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, this is so cool to think you've come this far to be able to make this who it is that you're living, breathing. Now, do you have an entire team of people? I mean, you sound like you're just this incredible one-man band.
I am a one-man band. I mean, I have a support network. I have, I've got a speaker coach. I've got like a speaker cohort that I'm a part of, several of them. But yeah, it's just me. Just me, myself, and I.
I love that. It means you carry so much of everything on your shoulders and you are crushing it. Cause I remember some of these things, like going to an event, getting all structured, following up with it, making sure all the people, oh my gosh, like hats off, because doing it live events is sort of wild. Um, Tell me a little bit about, like, your company. Is you and you yourself going out and teaching this, speaking to people? This sounds like it's a lot of hard work. Like, why do you keep showing up to do this?
Well, the truth is my vision is to be the light, uplift, inspire, and encourage, right? It's one of my, it's my passion. And um, I just need to do it. And I'll say this, right? I'm in the gym 5 or 6 days a week. Now, the default Steve would rather sit in front of the TV, binge watch, and eat butter pecan Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And although it feels so good, tastes so good while I'm doing it, I feel horrible after.
Mhm.
And going to the gym, I have to push myself, but I go and I feel good after I go because I've gone. Well, being out there is the same. It's like the default Steve is still an introvert. I don't care, it doesn't matter. Call me a master connector or not, speaker or not, whatever. I'm still an introvert. So the default Steve would rather just be at home and be by himself, do nothing. However, that's made me feel comfortable, but it's horrible for the soul. So just like, the gym, I feel way better in the long run because rather than eating ice cream, same thing. I'm out there. Yes, it might be something I'm not default Steve doesn't want to do. However, when I do it, I feel great about it, and it's great for my soul. So that's why I do it. I have a calling. My calling is really to uplift, inspire people. I love my passion is travel and helping people and having an impact on people. I call myself an inspirational speaker, not a motivational speaker, because I believe motivation is an inside job, and I can help inspire people to find the motivation within themselves.
Ooh, I like that. That's a great way to look at it, because it's like, hey, you can find a little motivation wherever, but
Yeah.
to let someone outside persuade you and
Mhm.
take that home with you.
Yeah.
Because when people leave the keynote session that you've put for them, like, you really want them to leave with something that you've built into them for that moment so they can go do amazing things. Because I tell people a couple years ago, you pick a theme for the year, right? My theme was hope dealer. I was like, I just want to deliver hope to people that have
Yeah.
not felt that in so long, and you're delivering that in multiple different angles of the messages that you're doing. That's wonderful. I wanna ask you, at this point, people are thinking, "Wait, how do I find this guy?" Like, what's your favorite way for people to come find you? Because they want you as their next keynote speaker, or to be able to come share your story, or heck, if we have another person that wants to have you on their show, I bet you would love to be on their podcast too.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Tell me how they can all get a hold of you.
I appreciate it. My jam is LinkedIn. I'm not an Instagram guy or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, TikTok. I'm a LinkedIn guy. So find me on LinkedIn. I think if you type in Steve Spiro, I usually am the first one to show up. if you do Steve Spiro Master Connector, I definitely will be the first to show up. But you could also go to stevespiro.com. It's kind of like a digital business card website. But for speaker Spiro, so well, the best one is master-connector.com. That's my speaker website. If you want to learn about the show, you could go to masterconnector.show. But my speaker website is master-connector.com. That's if you want to hire me as a speaker, that's the best way to find me.
I love it. That's great. Well, you're doing so many incredible things, and I'm so grateful that you found this as your calling and your gift that you're leaning into. Because some people still don't know what they're going to do when they grow up, right? So I'm glad you listened to your calling. What's next? Like, what's on the horizon for you and what you're working on?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is to continue on that path of traveling the world. I mean, I have 2 opportunities that are right on the table right now. One is to go to London and speak before a group of people there, and I have not been to London. Been to Ireland, been to Spain. Love the idea of that and getting, listen, what's better for me, at least, maybe not for you listening this, you may not relate, but what's better, traveling and inspiring people and get paid to travel, and why not? Like that's so to me, just an extension of what I'm, looking to do, just continuing to, I'd love to go to Dubai. I'd love to go to Africa. I mean, wherever people want to have me speak and inspire people and you're willing to pay, I'm there. I'm really, I love the idea of doing that.
Oh, that's perfect. That's incredible. Well, I want to ask, are some of my favorite parts of the show end up being incredible one-liners. So, what should we leave everybody as a couple of your favorite to-do lists or one-liners that are like your little golden nuggets of wisdom we can end our show with?
Yeah, I mean, a big part of, my number one is I have 4 pillars, right? Being authentic, being others focused, having grit, and building community and growing connections. I kind of talked about that in one of my keynotes. And grit is, I'm a dyslexic, so I'm learning disabled. So grit and having dyslexia, I think is the biggest blessing to me because it gave me the ability to be a creative problem solver. So one of the books that is a go-to for me is the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in that book, I read that in every adversity lies a seed of equal or greater benefit, and that line really resonates with me because I think sometimes we're going through challenges and we feel like, oh, we're stuck or whatever, or maybe we're just, life is, By the way, success, the first 3 letters of success is SUC. So you got to go through the suck to get through success. Okay. So you got to go through some of it. And you might be in the middle of having a really challenging time right now, but understand that when you get out of that, there is going to be something good coming from that. I want you to believe that. So that's a real go-to for me. And one of the other ones in terms of being others focused is take your eyes off yourself and put it onto somebody other people. And often when you're in the challenges and you have challenges, if you go and help other people, all of a sudden your challenges don't seem so bad. In fact, I remember hearing it said, my leg hurt and I felt bad for myself until I saw a guy without legs, like other people, you help them, and all of a sudden your challenges don't seem so bad. So those are some things I would say. Take your eyes off yourself. And then the last thing is on authenticity. Listen, be yourself because everyone else is taken.
Ha, that was a good one. That's 100%. And not only that, I think the people, when you get to be yourself, there's no competition out there of you,
Right.
right? Like you're the only one that could show up and be you. So really that advice you gave is like 100% amazing. I love it.
For sure.
This is so good. I'm so glad that we got to work through all of our crazy challenges to
Yes.
make it to happen. I
Thanks
hope
for
you
your
guys have
patience
been
with me.
new.
Yes.
And I look forward to having this episode come out. We are middle of 2026, so I can't wait to see you continue to grow on your path and some of the amazing companies you get to go speak for. And then I want to thank our audience. Thank you so much for listening this long and hanging out with us. And then do not forget, if you're a LinkedIn person, go connect with Steve so that way you could follow his posts that he posts on LinkedIn and also on his website so that way you can reach out. You just need another connector in your life. In the meantime, I want to say bye and I'll see you guys on another episode. Bye.